Yes. So it's been, like I said, it's been a roller coaster of a week. Niggas been getting stabbed up. Niggas been getting clanked up. Niggas been getting restraining order. Niggas been getting down this week. So Halle Bailey and DDG. Okay. So, all right. Because I have to perform. Don't you know when you have a bunch of feelings and thoughts and you have to take a deep breath and just organize them? Because I want to make sure that I'm delivering a colorful commentary to my audience.
Yes.
Okay? So, so this week, Halle Bailey, shit. Is it Halle? Chloe and Halle. Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey was granted a restraining order against her child's father, DDG. She filed a police report this week, detailing, past physical altercations between her and her child's father, DDG. And she has a whole police report where she details things, guys. You guys, if you really care, you will go and Google it and you will read it for yourself instead of just commenting and being mad for no reason because DDG's your favorite streamer. Okay, this is real life. These are two parents and there's a baby involved. Okay. But in her, in Halle's detailed police report, she spoke about how, they would get into it. Her and DDG would get into it physically. At one point, he hit her head against a steering wheel and chipped her tooth. She showed bruises on her arm. She detailed, vulgar language between one another. She detailed a moment where she wanted to buckle up her son in the backseat of his car, and they got into it verbally, and he was angry and she didn't feel comfortable leaving the baby with him, so she hopped in the car and drove with him to his mother's house, where she says that she explained to his mother what happened and how she didn't feel safe with the baby around him when he was angry like that, and he called her the B word here and there, and all these things, like a lot of hostile situations. And she explained that one of the arguments erupted when she tried to talk about a schedule, like a custody schedule. She didn't want it to be where he just pops up when he wants him, or she can't get him at the time that she wants to get him. She was trying to see can we come up with a schedule for our baby son. He's barely 1 year old, right? So that kind of erupted. And, I'm kind of annoyed, guys. I don't know these people, but I'm annoyed for a few reasons. But the first reason I'm annoyed because I sat here literally 2 or 3 episodes ago, and I sat here and I said, put some respect on DDG name. Crazy. And look at this shit now. And look at this goddamn shit now. Because the whole reason I did that, the whole reason I went on that rant of put respect on DDG's name a few episodes ago was because I wasn't, I'm grown. And, I love entertainment. I think it's entertaining. And I was focused on the entertainer. Mm-hmm. I wasn't focused on too much of the personal shit. Mm-hmm. Even the shit that I think that he does that's corny, I wasn't really too focused on that. I was mostly focused on, okay, this is a young black man. He's making an honest living. He's successful. And he looks like he enjoys what he does. That was my only thing. And I'm tapped into a lot of these streamers. I've subscribed to a few streamers. I'm really in support of this because, again, these are young black people that are making an honest living. They're not harming anyone. So I assume they're not. Supposedly they're not harming anyone. They're not robbing anyone. They're not scamming anyone. They're not doing. They're just of course, some streamers do ridiculous things on stream, whatever. But I'm talking about the ones that whatever, right? So that was my main thing. So when this shit popped up, I'm like, damn, I was just talking about this nigga on that. And I got a cute, and I put it on TikTok, and I got a cute little amount of views on there. I'm like, what the fuck? God damn it! I just was talking good about you. What the fuck? But anyway, so the detail of the police report was crazy. I'm like, oh wow, what the hell? And I'm gonna go into some things real quick. But this is what I want to say about this. I know a lot of single mothers. My sister's a single mother. I have friends that are single mothers. I have relatives that are single mothers. And I know that when it comes to a mother. a lot of times, and this is the truth, like the mother, in most cases, the mother is the main parent, especially when they're not together. You know what I mean? That they're going to be the main parent a lot of times. There's some cases where they're not, but a lot of times the mother is the main parent because that's the mother. Just nature wise, nurturing wise, it's the mother, especially when the child is very, very young, boy or girl. Like their child is one. Their child just turned 1. He's still a toddler, right? Yeah, that's still a toddler age. You know what I'm saying? So like, of course, like it's very important for her I understand why she would want to, like, that's a baby. She wants to know a schedule. Like, I'm sure, I don't know if she still breastfeeds or whatever. This is a baby, right? And she's the mother. Right. So yes, I need to discuss a schedule. We're not together. We don't live together. We're not together. We need a schedule.
For sure.
And I guess, she explained that, he just gets agitated. He doesn't want to talk about that. Like, he wants to get him when he wants to get him type shit or whatever. I don't know if it's a combination of, they're not together anymore. Maybe he doesn't want to be apart, or I don't know, because again, they were together for a couple years before she got pregnant. So it's like, I'm sure there's feelings still there, here and there, whatever. Right. And, but when it comes to the DV of it, the domestic violence of it, like, I don't think, there's always two sides to a story, and both parties can play a part in situations, right? That's fine. I'm not saying that Halle probably didn't swing on him or whatever. I'm not saying that he didn't swing on her and he could have. I'm not saying that he could have not done something or could have done. I'm not saying any of that. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is it's not our business, for one, and for two, it's a child involved. So this is a very fragile situation, right? Because there is a young baby involved. And what I'm gonna say with this, I'm not fixated on who hits who in the situation. I'm more fixated on at least Halle, even though she may be toxic or may not be toxic, whatever. Again, we don't know these folks. At least it's showing that she is taking the initiative to try to maintain an order, right, in the co-parenting process with their young baby.
Right. Which is important.
Which is the most important, which is the only important thing, mm-hmm, right? There were rumors about her, I guess, dating Brent Fayez, my bad. Brent Fayez. She was on vacation on Mother's Day with, this past Mother's Day with her sister, and I guess another relative with the baby. And I guess they were overseas somewhere at an island somewhere, and then there was a picture of Brent Fayez at an island as well. And I guess, people put two and two together, and bloggers say, oh, is he with Halle and the baby? Like, what's going on? Like, so it's like that was a whole spectacle with that. And I guess, in the items that, Halle presented to the judge, presented to courts, she showed screenshots of DDG, sending her links to the gossip blogs where it says that her and Brent are together on vacation. And she's like, no, we're not. I would never do that. I have Halo with me. I would never do that. Whatever, trying to diffuse it. And he's saying, like, bet when it's my turn to get him, I'm gonna be on that same kind of time, whatever. It was a hostile thing with that. And she, in the report, she detailed, that they broke up. I think they broke up back in October of last year, or I don't know if they broke up in October of last year, or that's when a lot of the physical stuff started in October. She detailed physical things in October and in January, right? She detailed that, and then she also brought up the Brent Fayez situation on the text or whatever, right? So I'm going to go into the bullshit that I've been seeing in regards to the situation, but I will say this is what I think. So what if she detailed things that happened in January and she's filing in May? So, and to me, I feel like, a couple things. This is the father of her child. Maybe of course she's apprehensive to just go straight to the police or straight to the whatever to do this. Like, sometimes you want things to work out. You don't want to go through all of that shit. And look at what's going on now that you see that she did it. You know what I'm saying? And then the second thing, I think the Brent Fayez text messages kind of set it off for her. That was like the last straw. In my opinion, I think that was the last straw for her. Because it's just like, nigga, like, come on, like you going off about Brent Fayez, and now is giving, you're going to be spiteful with my son, right, moving forward. I don't have time for this. I'm about to file some paperwork real quick. I'm about to make some adjustments, because none of the single mothers that I know want to go through the court process.
Nobody.
No one wants to, even though it's easy to say, oh, bitter baby mother. No one that I know wants to go through that shit. Mm-hmm. No one wants to go through that shit. Like no one wants to put their child's father on paperwork to make sure they give them money every month. No one wants to go through that shit.
Nah. Strenuous.
Like I've seen things firsthand with my sister and her child's father, my niece's father, going through some court stuff. And she didn't want to go through all that, but she had to because he did something unpredictable that was disruptive to her parenting. It was compromising her child's like well-being, compromising her child's structure, and compromising the structure that she set as a mother and being the primary parent of their daughter. It was disruptive, and it was it was very unpredictable, and it was very detrimental what he did. That's what drove her to going to court and figuring. So they don't want to do this, but when you do shit like this, we already boxing already in front of the baby. You already called me all types of B words, and I'm doing things to you too. You grabbed me up, you chipped my fucking tooth, and now you talk about some damn Brent Fayez on Mother's Day, and you want to bring up give me my son. Like you want to bring up our son in midst of art as if you're going to be spiteful with him. No. I'm calling the police. Like you know what I'm saying? Like come on. Anyway, so. There's a few things that happened that bothered me when this news broke. Again, Halle provided, she has ring camera footage of situations. She detailed situations. She has screenshots. She has pictures. She has all these things that granted her a temporary restraining order that prevents DDG and his family of speaking on her publicly on stream, because DDG does speak about Halle publicly on stream, and he does kind of plant seeds to his viewers, his young idiotic viewers. Not all of them. Some of the ones that are idiots, those ones. Like he does paint a picture with them where it's like, oh, I just want to. There's been times where I've ignored because I was too busy of like being proud of what he was, like whatever. He would just say things like, oh, I just want to see my son, and I can't see my son when I want to, and blah blah blah. There's this complaining about things, and planting seeds and like implying things about Halle, and that caused people to harass Halle online and get she was receiving death threats and all these kinds of things, and and that's one of the things that she kind of petitioned for in her suit. She's like, I want him to prevent him from speaking on me because he puts his fans, he sends his fans in a frenzy. I receive death threats, this and that, right? So DDG cannot speak on her, and none of his family can really speak on her for real. Right. So his streamer friends are speaking on her in the situation. So he was on Adin Ross's live stream a couple days ago, when the news broke. And he was, I think it was a few days ago. This all happened this week. So he was on Adin Ross's live, or he was doing like a stream with Adin Ross or whatever, when the news hit TMZ. Now, I don't know if I low-key feel like he already knew about the restraining order. I think that he was shocked that it was on TMZ. Because there's no way that you didn't know that you had a restraining order before you got on live like this. No, absolutely not. You were shocked, and you were trying to save face because it was on TMZ and you were on live. It was a lot. So of course his fucking streamer friends are like, no, fuck that. This is bullshit. This is bogus. He's a great dad. But it's not about him being a dad. It's about him being a good co-parent. It's not about him. It's about the baby. Yeah. It's all about the baby. Yeah. Period. And then on top of that, just because you like his Twitch channel doesn't mean you know what the fuck goes on in his motherfucking bedroom. He didn't put a baby in you. You don't know what goes on in his in behind closed doors. Why are you just because you see him with his baby online and the baby's cute and he holding the baby doesn't mean that you know what goes on behind closed doors. And once again, he did not put the baby in you. You were not the child's mother. You weren't the child's father. You are not this child's parent. This is not you. You don't know these. You don't know what he does behind closed doors. No, you don't. But of course, Adin Ross's ass, gave his 2 cents, his bullshit 2 cents. I was annoyed. I was actually annoyed with Deshae Frost, because Deshae Frost was actually a streamer that I enjoyed and I would, support and subscribe to a couple times. I actually subscribed to his channel a couple of times. And I remember when he did a streamathon. Mm-hmm. He did a streamathon around Christmas time called the Frostathon. And he did it right after Kai Cenat's streamathon, the big dog streamathon. And you know, of course, like he did it right after Kai Cenat, so of course people came and was like, oh, you're copying, you just want to do this, right? I remember saying something in the comments of the Shade Room Teens page. I remember writing I remember writing something in the comments that was very encouraging and very, you know, uplifting and stuff. So and people liked it or whatever. And I tuned in because he had Orlando Brown on the first day, and that was crazy. And you know, of course, but I tuned in and I supported. I subscribed all these things because it's like, you know, he has a sister, he has a brother, he has a mom, he has a little sister, like he has a family. Family, right? But that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to, you know, whatever. And you know, I would see him on Kai Cenat stream. I would see that I would see his determination to becoming the best entertainer that he could become. Right? So cool, right? This motherfucker went on his stream once again, spoke on, he was another person that spoke on the situation, was like, oh, basically calling Halle a liar, basically discrediting her, and basically saying like, oh, you know, he's a great dad, fuck that shit, he's a great dad, blah 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 blah, making light of the, like, you know, he was using their situation as content for him on his stream. And he even made a joke about Rock Nation coming to get him, and like, oh no, is Rock Nation coming to get me now after I kind of went on Halle, like, you know, whatever. I'm just like, what in the world? First of all, Halle isn't even signed to Rock Nation, she's signed to Parkwood, that's Beyonce. But I get it, I get the joke, right. But it's just like, come on. And you know, and like, you be like, you know, DDG's a great dad, that's like my brother, he's all these things. And I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Actually, I'm gonna play a little bit of it real quick. Oops.
People say, oh, family not speaking on it, whatever, because it's true. Man, that's not fucking true, bro. If that's why is she coming out right now with all this? If this January, why she ain't doing it in January? Why you gotta wait 6 months? 6 months and all this other, like, why are you taking that route? You can't prove that this is not a father, or you can't prove that he's not trying to co-parent or doing anything. So you gotta pull this card. It's just weird, bro. And I don't like seeing my brother down or any of that type. So I'm always speaking. I know Jay-Z gonna be on my after this, and Beyonce, but I don't give a bro. If the CIA on my door, then they come knocking on my door. It is what it is, bro. I'm DDG squad, bro. Real hell nah. I'm not gonna let no people think my dog an abuser or something, bro. Is not no.
So I went through, but of course, you know, he was saying like, oh no, like calling Halle a liar, saying like, oh, you have no proof of this. There's literally you can literally Google the whole police report. She has screenshots, she has ring camera footage, she's detailing situations of abuse, of assault, of these things. She's detailing this. She's detailing messages where DDG is like threatening to, like, you know, one of the reasons why she got the restraining order, she's like, she doesn't want him, like, you know, she doesn't want her baby to be abducted by DDG. Like, don't she said that, you know, there were times where like he refused to give him back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's detailing all these things. So this is my whole thing, right? You trying to sit here and call him your brother? He's your brother, quote unquote. This is my thing. If someone is really, if someone is really your friend, they would have respect for you. And if they had respect for you, real respect for you, they would respect your child's mother and your child. Even if you don't fuck with Halle, if you respect DDG, you respect and love his son.
Right.
And out of that respect and love for DDG and his son, you would not be speaking on his son's mother the way you're speaking on his son's mother. Period. Calling her a liar and then saying like, oh, if it happened in January, why are you doing it in 6 months? First of all, May is February, March, April, May. That's 4 months. That's 4 months apart, not 6 months. Second of all, so she didn't want to file, but he kept exhibiting behavior where it's like, no, I'm putting my foot down. I want some structure. Right. Let me file some paperwork on your ass because you playing too fucking much.
Gotta set them boundaries, man.
Like, this made me withdraw my support from Deshae Frost, because it's just like, nigga, like, because he keep doing dumb shit, and then like you keep doing this, and it's just like, these streamers, they're not like, it's beneficial for all of them to be around each other. It's beneficial for them to be around DDG. It's beneficial for them to be around Cenat. It's beneficial for, like, you know, it's beneficial, right? So a lot of times ain't no real genuine feelings in that. It's some brotherhoods can form, right. But I just feel like you don't have any real respect for DDG. You just like the benefit from being his friend and being around him. You like the optics of you being around DDG.
That's exactly what it sounds
So
like.
this is what you're going to do. You're going to use his pain. You're going to use his unfortunate situation and make content out of it. In one of the clips, I ran through it a little bit. And at one point in his stream, he pretended like the Rock Nation was at his door doing shit. He had people like knock on his door, fake knock on his door, and like pretended like he gave he did like a little Rock Nation skit, acting like, oh, they're gonna get me, Jay-Z's gonna get me, like all these things, right? And it's just like, you have no respect for his son. You have no respect for him. You have no respect for fucking women.
Right.
Even like, how would you feel if he has 2 younger sisters and a mother? Like, it's just like, what on earth? What on earth? They like the benefit from being around him. So they're gonna do this fake outrage, this fake shit and make it content.
Exactly what
and of course, I feel like DDG dumbass. I feel like he gave him the goal to do this, and that's even more fucked up because you're an idiot.
Probably, for sure.
Because this is what Halle detailed in the report. Like, you put your fans in a frenzy. You put people in a frenzy. You gaslight people into harassing me. This is harassment. I wouldn't be surprised if she gave him a cease and desist, because that's disgusting.
Nah, for sure.
You don't care about it's not even about her. It's about the child. You don't care about the child. Why would, like, you wouldn't care about, like, what if his child's gonna get older? He's gonna see this. You don't care about talking about his son's mother like that. Like, I can't stand my friend. Like there's tons of things I can say about my sister's child's, my niece and nephew's fathers, my friends' baby fathers, but I would never say it on here, on in front of a camera. I would talk shit about their baby daddy to them,
right?
And that's it. No one else, and not on camera. And I wouldn't make a skit about it. And if I did want to talk about something, and if I did want to speak about something personal, I asked permission, like I did, and I called them on here.
Yeah,
that's disgusting. You're not a real fucking friend. You're a leech.
Shit is crazy, man.
And real quick on is it just like, you have sisters and a mother? Like, how would you feel if someone called your sister or your mother a fucking liar because the person that did it is someone's favorite streamer or someone's favorite athlete or something? How would you fucking feel? Excuse me? See, now I don't, because, you know, of course DDG's brother and his sister had some words as well, and I believe a close friend of his had some words as well. And I'm gonna play one of them, but I understand when it comes to the family stuff. I get it, even though who could be wrong, whatever. It doesn't matter who. I get the family speaking out, because that's family. I get the childhood friend speaking. That's an actual friend from before that. I get it. That's fine. It can still be bullshit, but it's fine. I get it. But you making content out of this as his streamer friend is disgusting to me. It's gross to me. And you don't care about women. You don't care. And this is what sets you aside from someone like, I'll say it, like someone like Kai Cenat, because with Kai, he addressed it on his stream yesterday, I believe. And, of course, him and DDG are really cool. They're really cool friends. And he actually ran into Halle at a Met Gala after party on stream. That was the first time they met in person, I believe. And even though DDG brought Halo on his stream, on his streamathon that he had back in November, he brought Halo on his stream without letting Halle know, and that was a big thing online as well. That was one of the only times Halle actually said something online about DDG. Usually she doesn't speak on the situation. DDG's the one that mostly speaks on this situation, not her, or whatever. But this is what Kai said on his stream.
I know things going on, but y'all gotta understand, bro. This is how I view it personally, bro. There is 2 sides of a story that's going on right now, and I am in the middle to where I have to be able to just see things play out. It is none of my, you feel what I'm saying, chat? Like, honestly speaking, there's 2 sides to a story, and you gotta be able to just respect both of them. All you can do is pray for both sides, honestly, and that's facts. Pray for DDG, pray for Halle. You feel what I'm saying? They're going through right now, but I want to go ahead and say DDG is a pioneer within what I do. I want to go ahead and make that clear, okay? He's a pioneer in what I do, and I respect him a lot. You feel what I'm saying? Like what he got going on, bruh. I know there's a lot of crazy things going on, but y'all.
So he was just discussing because he had right now Cenat is doing something called Streamer University where he's like gathering people to do his own. Like, he's doing that whole thing, and he selected DDG as to be one of the. He selected DDG to be one of the professors at the streaming university thing that he has going on. So he had to briefly speak on what was going on real quick. Mm-hmm. But that is a wonderful response. The thing is, like, he's actually really close with DDG. He only met Halle in person one time, I think. He don't even know Halle like that or whatever. But he still was very classy in his response. Like, I'm praying for both sides. It's a really hard time for both of them. I'm praying for both sides. That's all I'm going to say. Not my business. I'm not going to comment on what. You can tell that Kai, he's at where he's at for a reason. His mind is right. He's not perfect, but his mind is right. And another thing too, you can tell that Kai really loves, honors, and respects his mother. You can tell that he loves, honors, respects his mother. You can tell that he loves, honors, and respects his sister. Yeah. You can tell, because a man like that, a man that honors and respects his mother and his sister, that's the kind of response that he's going to give when it comes to his famous friend going through a situation with his child's mother. Mm-hmm. He's not gonna make no content and make Rock Nation jokes and call Halle a liar, call his brother's son's mother a liar to have content on street. That's disgusting. Excuse me? You have no respect for women at all. And it's not genuine. I feel like even though DDG probably gave him the go on the low because he can't do it, like, he should watch out for people like that, because that's not genuine. You want someone in your corner that's going to hold you accountable, whether right or wrong. It's going, like, whoever side, mm-hmm. going to hold you accountable in private and not speak on it like that in public. They're going to give Kai Cenat's response, not Deshae's response, not Adin Ross's response. Yeah, because that's gross. I had to withdraw my support. Like, I was like, I'm still up on DDG. Because my whole thing is, like, when you do, even with the Diddy shit, like, if you do wrong for so long, it's gonna catch up to you. Period. So regardless of what's going on with him and Halle, regardless whether I'm a Halle fan or whatever fan, things will work out the way they need to work out. She got the court into it, and it's going to play out the way it needs to play out, and that's what that is. So I'm not really like it's annoying that it's him after I just complimented him 2 episodes ago. Yeah, but it's just like crazy. It's like whatever. It's going to play out the way it needs to play out, and that's just what that is. Right. But with Deshae and him, I'm not subscribing to him no more. I'm not doing that because you're gross. You're really corny, ill, disgusting. That's lame. And it's like he always has something going. Every other month is some shit that some dumb shit that he do every other month. Like, it's always some stupid shit with him. And what was I gonna say? Blah blah blah. One of his homeboys, one of DDG's homeboys, his name is what's his name? His name is one of his friends, Baby Rich. He gave his 2 cents on the situation. He claimed that he would witness Halle throw hands on DDG and stuff, and he claimed that that one time when Ruby Rose showed screenshots of DDG in her DMs, he basically said DDG did it out of spite because he found out that Halle was messing with Brent Faiyaz behind his back. So it was like the whole thing of he accused her of cheating with Brent Faiyaz again, and hopefully I hope that's a real thing now, because it's like, goddamn, Brent Faiyaz, girl, I hope he dicking you down real good, because he is, girl. Brent Faiyaz got these niggas in a chokehold, got these niggas drawers balled up. The fuck. But but yeah, but I thought Baby Rich, because I didn't look too much into him for real when I would see him on the stream with DDG, but I don't know why I assumed that he was one of his cousins or something. I don't know, but it seems like that's like one of his friends. Okay. So it seems like to me, I don't know, but I mean, whatever, he's saying what he's saying, and that's how he feels. That's what he witnesses. That's cool. But what he's saying, it seems like, I'm not gonna play it because I don't feel like I'm playing too many audios, but I'm not gonna play it. But from what I saw, like, it seems like the response was still coming from a genuine, concerning place. It wasn't off I'm gonna use this for content like Deshae did. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I expect the family friend and the family to be like, oh my God, like, to be on his side and whatever. They're coming from a place of love and a place of, like, real, like, genuine, like, attachment, not making content and shit and acting like Rock Nation at your door. You know what I'm saying? No.
Oh man.
Yes. So there is that. Soulja Boy got himself into it. He said he was gonna smack DDG because whatever. Anywho, yeah, that was the. But that's just my whole thing. Like that's what separates. That's what separates people in position. Like just like no, like, and it was one point with the whole streamer university thing. Even Kyle was like he almost didn't because he let Deshae be involved in that too, but he almost didn't let him do it because it's like nigga. He was like nigga like one thing I don't like about you is that like I sit and I give you real advice and you turn around and you do the opposite like every time. Every fucking time, nigga. Like that's he almost didn't have his ass on the thing, but he changed his mind or whatever. But it's just like nigga, like what the fuck, like. But this is what separates him from like it's just like I don't see like Kai and people that he be around doing the shit that DDG folks be doing. It's just like no, what the fuck, no. Anyway, next.